Hi everybody, it's 9 o'clock and 9 o'clock is with me, Father Warner. Today is the 6th of December and I want to focus on the memorial of Saint Nicholas, and I want to talk about how, the title of today rather, is how Santa Claus came to be. Now I want you to meet in this little reflection the real Saint Nick. Yes, there really is one. And while we know a little about his life, there is much that has been created from his life to form the Santa Claus of today. Now, Saint Nicholas was the Catholic bishop of Myra, and Myra is in Asia Minor, that is modern day Turkey. Now, according to Legenda Aurea, the Golden Legend, also called the Lives of Saints, volume 11, Nicholas was born sometimes in the late 3rd century. His parents died when he was very young, leaving him with a large sum of money. And with this inheritance, St. Nicholas practiced charity, helping those in need. So you already see the start of a man who constantly gives. Now, St. Nicholas's uncle was the Archbishop of Myra and Lycia, and he ordained him a priest and appointed him then abbot of a monastery. And then on the death of the archbishop, St. Nicholas was elected to or rather he was appointed to this vacant see. He became therefore the bishop. Now, throughout his life, St. Nicholas retained the bright and the guileless manner of his early years, that childishness, the childlikeness within his heart. And he showed himself to be the special protector of the innocent and of those who were wronged. Now, about this time, the persecution of the Roman Emperor Diocletian broke out. And Nicholas was imprisoned for preaching Christianity, but he was then released during the reign of the first Christian or a Catholic king in the Emperor Constantine. St. Nicholas also attended the Great Council of Nicaea in the year 325. You see Nicholas of Myra of Lycia appears on one of the earliest and most reliable lists of those bishops who attended this Great Council of Nicaea. Now, after St. Nicholas's death, and he died on December 6th, that's why we celebrate his feast today. He died in around the year 345. So after his death, we are told that his body was buried at the cathedral at Myra, and it remained there till the year 1087, when seamen of Bari is an Italian coastal town, they seized the relics of the saints and they transferred them to their own city. Now, veneration for St. Nicholas, even before his relics were taken away, had already spread throughout Europe and Asia. When we speak of Asia, we're talking about West Asia. But this occurrence of his relics, of his life, led to a renewal of devotion in the West. Countless miracles were attributed to Saint Nicholas's intercession. His relics are still preserved. You can find them in the church of San Nicola in Bari in Italy. And they say an oily substance known as manna di San Nicola, which was highly valued for its medicinal powers, is known to flow from these relics. Now, popular legends have involved St. Nicholas in a number of very charming stories, one of which relates Nicholas's charity towards the poor. Nicholas once heard that a man of Patara, who had fallen into poverty and lost his fortune, intended to abandon his 3 daughters to a life of sin. He wanted to sell them into prostitution because he could not pay for their dowry. And legends state that Nicholas saved the 3 sisters from a life of shame by secretly flinging into the window a bag of gold, and then, of course, he hurried off. Other legends also relate that Nicholas secretly put coins in shoes that were left out for him. Now, I'm sure you can start to see the faint resemblances to the mythological Santa Claus. So there's still other stories that surround St. Nicholas. they illustrate that he practiced both the spiritual and the corporal works of mercy. He was generous, strove to help the poor, strove to help the disadvantaged, and worked tirelessly to defend the faith. Now, the custom of giving gifts on St. Nicholas's feast day on the 6th of December, and that was the day when this giving of gifts originated, probably really it originated in Europe, and it originated among the Protestants. You know, the Reformation had led many Protestants to abandon the resemblances, their remembrances, of the saints. But St. Nicholas's memory was kept alive by children, especially in the country of Holland, because they remembered this saint who gave, on whose feast day they got gifts. So they remembered him as Santa Claus, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about Santa Claus. So the story of St. Nicholas came to America in a very distorted fashion. You see, the Dutch Protestants who left Europe, they carried a very popularized version of the saint's life to New Amsterdam, or as we know it today, New York. And when they did this, this popularized version of Saint Nicholas kind of portrayed Saint Nicholas as nothing more than a Nordic magician or a wonder worker. Now, once the Dutch arrived, they told stories about Saint Nicholas, the Dutch version of Saint Nicholas, which then transformed into Santa Claus. Okay, so Saint Nicholas is said then to have arrived on his feast day. He would arrive on horseback. So that's how you get on a one horse open sleigh in that carol that we sing. So he came in on horseback. He dressed in a red bishop's robe on 6th of December, and he wore a mitre. Now you can see how the red bishop's robe and the mitre has become the red Santa Claus outfit, and that little funny dunce cap. Okay, and he would also be accompanied on the 6th of December by Black Peter. Now, Black Peter was variously described as a freed slave or as a Moor who helped him distribute sweets and presents to good children and give lumps of coal or potatoes to bad ones. So now you understand why you also have so many other carols that talk about being naughty or being nice. Yeah, Santa Claus is coming to town. He's going to see whether you're naughty. If you're naughty, you get lumps of coal or potatoes, and if you're nice, of course, you get sweets and presents. Now, of course, Black Peter has now become the elves, and everything has now taken a life of its own. Also remember that the American mispronunciation of Santa Claus eventually took a life of its own. You know, this jolly Saint Nick also delivered gifts, according to American legends that have come down, gave gifts through the chimney. But on these gifts are given today on Christmas rather than what it was meant to be. 6th of December was the day when you gave gifts and presents to everybody, in memory, of course, of Saint Nicholas. So the modern day Santa Claus, of course, wore this funny red suit rather than the liturgical vestments, though he still in a way vaguely resembled the old depictions of Saint Nicholas, which showed him with a kind of a bald head and a full beard. So there have been changes in how Saint Nicholas used to be represented and how Santa Claus is now represented. Now, Saint Nicholas is also represented, and you'll see this, by with a vessel like a ship, you know, wherein they say a certain man had concealed the bodies of his 3 children whom he had kept, but who were also restored to life by Saint Nicholas. Now, Saint Nicholas, along with Saint Andrew, is also the patron of Russia, and so today would be a good day to pray for peace between Russia and Ukraine. Very quickly, I want to wish today some friends of mine who celebrate their wedding anniversary, to Jocelyn and Alex, living in Orlem. Happy anniversary. I still remember the day that I was there in Goa for your wedding and preached at your wedding mass. And to Jiggy and Yamini, Jiggy is my classmate from school. I've known him, some 35 years of my life. Jiggy and Yamini, who celebrate their wedding. I was fortunate and blessed to also celebrate their wedding. So happy anniversary. And to my dear friend Rakesh in London, happy birthday to you. To all of you, please remember that twice a year in Advent and Lent, I will ask you to contribute towards our ministry. So the number will feature on the screen right now and at the end of this teaching. If you'd like to make a contribution to this ministry, send me a WhatsApp message on the number that flashes and I will send you the details. Thank you everybody, and I hope today will be a day when you give not only to this ministry but give to people who are in need. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is with Father Warner.